A confession can cleanse a soul or curse it forever. Hit subscribe to Tears and Truth for tales where secrets bleed into nightmares. When the story begins, Hollowbrook, Vermont. October 1987. A storm brews over St. Agatha's Church and the confessional that feeds on sin. Father Michael Shepard had always believed confession was sacred. But on the night of October 12, 1987, as rain lashed the stained glass windows of St. Agatha's, he heard a voice that turned his faith to ice. The girl couldn't have been older than 12. She slipped into the confessional after midnight mass, her yellow raincoat dripping onto the oak floor. Her words came in whispers, trembling. "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I killed my brother." Michael leaned closer, the lattice screen blurring her face. "Child, what happened?" He wouldn't stop crying. "Mama said he was sick, but I knew the truth. The thing in the basement made him scream. So I held the pillow over his face. To make it quiet." Her voice sharpened, almost proud. "Now it talks to me. It says I did right." Before Michael could respond, the girl laughed, a sound like breaking glass, and fled. He chased her into the storm, but she vanished. The next morning, the Hollowbrook Gazette headline froze his blood. Local girl, 12, dies in house fire, younger brother found smothered. The photo showed the same yellow raincoat, charred at the edges. When Michael returned to the confessional, the curtain smelled of smoke. A week later, old Mrs. Pritchard hobbled into the confessional. Her confession was a ramble about lights in the woods and her late husband's voice begging her to dig up the garden. She died that night, found clawing at the soil, her hands wrapped around a rusted axe. Then came Bobby Harlow, the town drunk. He sobbed about hitting a hitchhiker years ago, leaving her body in a ditch. "But last night," he hissed, "she knocked on my door." Her face was maggots. The next day, Bobby's pickup truck veered into the same ditch. The coroner swore the wounds on his neck weren't from the crash. Michael began researching St. Agatha's history. The church had been rebuilt in 1889 after a fire killed 17 parishioners. The original confessional, records noted, was carved from the timbers of a shipwreck, a vessel rumored to carry exiled witches. That night, Michael found scratches inside the confessional. "It wants more." In the church archives, Michael uncovered a diary from Father Thomas Byrne, St. Agatha's first priest. Entries detailed a hunger in the confessional, a force that fed on guilt. Byrne wrote of performing an exorcism in 1891, but the ritual failed. His final entry, it demanded a sacrifice. "I gave it my soul. God forgive me." Michael's investigation led him to the cemetery. Byrne's grave was defaced, the headstone cracked. As he knelt to inspect it, a hand gripped his shoulder. "You shouldn't be here," rasped Lillian Graves, the church's 90-year-old caretaker. Her milky eyes narrowed. "That confessional, it's a door. And you've been opening it wider every time someone dies." She revealed that the fire of 1889 wasn't an accident. Byrne had set the blaze to contain the entity, but it survived. "It binds itself to confession," she said. "The more sins it consumes, the stronger it gets." That night, Michael dreamt of the girl in the raincoat. She stood in a field of ash, repeating, "You're next." Panic gripped Hollowbrook. A schoolteacher drowned herself in the river after confessing to abusing a student. A farmer shot his family, claiming shadows told him to. Each death left a mark on the confessional, a dark stain that seeped like oil. Michael confronted the bishop, who dismissed him as hysterical. Defiant, he decided to destroy the confessional. But as he swung an axe, though it screamed. A force threw him against the wall, fracturing his ribs. Lillian found him bleeding. "Fool," she muttered. "You can't kill it with steel. It needs a soul, a trade." She handed him Byrne's diary, open to a page smeared with blood. The failed exorcism required a life. That evening, a voice hissed from the confessional, "Michael, confess your sin." He'd never told a soul about his twin brother, David, who died in a childhood accident. Michael had let him drown. The entity knew. And it was hungry. Michael returned at midnight, a vial of holy water and Byrne's crucifix in hand. The confessional reeked of rot. He stepped inside and spoke. "I confess I let my brother die. Take me. Let them go." The walls shook. Shadows coiled around his throat as the entity roared, "Yes." But as the darkness swallowed him, Michael plunged the crucifix into his own chest. Light erupted, incinerating the confessional. When the smoke cleared, only ash remained. The town declared him a hero. But Lillian knew better. At the ruins, she found a single scratch in the dirt, not enough. Subscribe to Tears and Truth for more chilling tales where redemption and horror collide. Ring the bell, you won't want to miss what's coming next.